hope everybody's having a great Friday. I'm excited to share the metrics of this business, guys, the metrics of your activity. You've got to know where you're going if you're going to figure out how to get there. And this is what today is going to be talking about. So I would encourage you, if you're driving, pull over, get your pen and paper. If you're not driving, get your pen and paper, and then feel free to do screenshots. If you have the ability and know how to do it, make it a little bit simpler. You may want to reference back, because I will kind of go slow and we'll be talking about it. We've got the, basically this is going to be an income game plan. So whatever the income is that you're trying to achieve, that's what we're going to be talking about. So you're going to want to make sure that you write this down. We will have some time to answer some questions, because I definitely don't anticipate it taking the full hour. But I remember when I was first getting started, and one of the things that helped me was break out of my full-time job. Some of you have heard me talk about it. Was telling Chris and Scott Mank, you know, how much money I needed in the bank from Symmetry so that I could then, you know, fire my boss and leave, and give that cushion that was needed to take the edge off as far as, you know, going full time and leaving my salary. And so that's what we did. We basically worked the numbers backward. What I've got to share with you guys is not necessarily having to work the numbers backward, which is what we've done to come up with this, but it's going to be a flat out income goal game plan. And we're going to talk about, you know, how much activity, and then also very important is how much investment, how much resources, you know, you've got to be able to invest. Because here's the reality, guys. You can want to make 100,000, but if you're on a full-time basis, and with a 10% increase now, it's higher than that. But you also have got to put in full-time activity. You've got to put in a full-time investment into your leads. Now, you don't got to buy leads, but that's what we know. That's the metrics we know. If you can go out and generate the same type of return without the leads, then more power to you. And I hope you do that and come on and share your tips and secrets. But what we know is the metrics that built this company over 10 years. And you can't beat it. You can't beat the metrics. You can't trick them. You can't, you know, you may do better or worse one week, but that's part of the average. You know, we don't look at one day, we don't look at one week, we look at the average, okay? So grab your pen and paper, be ready to take notes. Like I said, if you're on the screen and you know how to do a screenshot, every computer is different, so I'm definitely not going to try to go over and tell you how to do it. But if you know how to do screenshot, that'll help you. If not, just take diligent notes, and you know, and we're gonna kick this thing off. So let me get my screen up here. And it's crazy. I went through recently and updated these numbers with the new promotion guidelines, the new metrics with the increase in our commission, and it's kind of crazy to see how this jumps up. So you know, this is based on a new agent. This is you starting brand new. If you have if you are not brand new and you've already earned some overrides, or excuse me, you've earned some promotion guidelines, well, then all you've got to do is take the same math and just plug in your commission level, okay? But I am coming about this today in the simplest way, and specifically speaking to a brand new agent who's still trying to get this thing figured out. As I mentioned before, you've got to know where you're headed to figure out how to get there. It's a roadmap. Now, we all have GPS, but we set it to get somewhere. We can divert, and maybe we might, it might take us a little longer, but if you can continue on the path, you continue with the same activity, the same thing, you will end up there, okay? And so this first one on the screen, guys, this is going to be a game plan for making $60,000 a year, okay? That's going to be your gross. Listen, I'm not an accountant. Some of you guys are. I can already see some analytical folks already thinking about taxes and their investment and subtracting. More power to you, okay? I'm not an accountant. We're going to get to a goal, and then you subtract out everything else. And depending on that, you can obviously add up. So go on to the next level, just like you would be if you were trying to reach your next promotion. You don't want to be, the goal shouldn't be the one you're trying to get, right? It should be the next one, right? Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. It's the same thing. Your goal should never be the next promotion. It's the one after that. So as long as I'm putting in the right amount of activity, the right amount of process to reach that goal, well, it's almost inevitable you're for sure going to get your next one. So, all right, we're gonna walk through this, write it down. This guys is going to be your typical part-time. What kind of job out there can you go work part-time and make a full-time salary in most cases, guys? My wife was teaching for 5 years. She had her master's, so she was on master's pay, and she still wasn't making this as a teacher. That's why she ain't teaching anymore. It just wasn't worth it. I love teachers. We need them. We need a better school system to be able to, to do that. But my point is, you can go out on a part-time basis and make a full-time salary in a lot of cases if that's what you want to do. But guys, this is your typical part-time. If we only want what you want, so these numbers are not going to be a fit-all. One size fits all. Your goal may be less. Your goal may be more. Take these same numbers. Take this same activity that we're going to talk about. Work with your upline to customize this very specifically, because once you have the numbers, once you have the calculations, so to speak, you can customize this any way you want to. Okay. All right. So the average policy is $85 a month, which is $1,000 annual premium volume, APV. Some of you are new. You see us throwing these acronyms out there. That's the annual premium volume. That is how much the client is paying per year. That is what we get paid off of. Some's going to be less. Some's going to be not more. We're talking about averages here. Not one day, not 1 week. Roughly about a 6-week average is what you should focus on, okay? That gives you a real clear picture, okay? Starting contract level of 70%, all right? We all know that you're going to receive a 75% advance on most products. Focus on our core carriers and our core products. You ain't got to worry about trying to figure out the math on all the rest of them, okay? But 75% advanced, 25% after 9 months. So you're going to get the other 25% broken down as earned in months 10, 11, and 12. As earned means that client made their payment. You earned your commission, okay? So you'll get that broken down. This math is not talking about a month. We're breaking it down for the year, so I'm not going to be calculating out the advanced. I'm going to be breaking it down on a total year, okay? So 70% on $1,000 is $700. That is going to be your commission per policy. Okay. What is it going to take to get to 60,000 for the year? You need to have 8 appointments set per week, not 7, not 5, 8. 8 as a part-time minimum. You want to do more, do more. You're going to make more money. 8. We know the numbers. You can't beat the numbers. You want me to say that again? All right. Average statistics. Guys, listen, I am also being conservative here, but I'm talking to new agents. If you set 8 appointments, you should expect 4 sits, 4 sales opportunity. That means 4 of them will not show up. We don't need all of them to show up as long as you set enough appointments. Guys, the biggest thing about this business I've found, have the right expectations, first and foremost. Don't expect to set 4 appointments and you're going to meet all of them. You might. I've had it happen. Guess what? I set record weeks when that happened, but it don't happen that often. Okay. I don't expect that. You understand what I'm saying? If you expect that, then you're going to be so damn disappointed when it don't happen. Now you're going to think this system don't work. No, you don't work because you're not following the system. Guys, I just tell it like it is. I'm trying to set the right expectations. So set the right expectations and control what you can control. You know what you can control? How many dials you make, how many contacts you have, how many appointments. You really can't control how many contacts unless, as long as you do enough dials, you get there. You can control how many appointments you set. If you're dialing, you know, on the weekends, for example, Friday, Saturday, you end Saturday on a part-time schedule, you've only got 6 appointments. Have you met your goal? No. You know what you can do? You can get back on the phone, you know, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, right? Get your goal. Okay. So I'm doing a 50% show rate and I'm doing a 50% close rate. Some of you guys on this call is going to be better than that. Okay. Some of you may be a little less, but we're going to help you, but have the right expectations. You're not going to sell them all. Hell, I think I'm on a 20% close rate this week. You know what? I wrote $2,500 because I put the money and I got more to go. I've got one as soon as this call ends, right? Have the right expectations, you know, but then there's weeks I'll have 100% close ratio. It averages out if you're staying consistent. So 8 appointments, 4 sell opportunities, you write half of them. That's 2 applications per week that you get issued. $700 per is $1,400 a week. Now, I just said issued. I'm going to back it up. 2 times 4 is 8. So that's 8 for the month. I'm going to assume at least one of those is going to get declined or change their mind and cancel on you. It happens, guys. Have the right expectations. Okay? If you're getting much less than that, you've got to be reaching up to your upline and ask for help. How can I do better at not getting people to decline? That's the first and foremost, because you can control that by doing enough due diligence, asking enough questions, and not be afraid to, you know, pivot because you realize you didn't present the right product once you found out more information. That's the best thing I've ever done is I've stopped right then. Don't throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. Get your customer having the expectation that they're going to get approved for this $100,000 policy. They get declined. Now you got to come back and show them a $10,000 policy. That's going to be hard. But if you stop it right there and say, guys, listen, I realize based on blah, 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 this is not going to really work. We're not going to be able to get you approved for this. Here's what we can do. You're upfront, you're honest. Get them approved. I promise you, you're much more likely to keep a policy sticking if you get them approved the first time rather than having to go back. Now, we got to go back sometimes, but your butt's better off if you do it on the front end. Everything, it's hard to fix stuff on the back end, I promise you. All right, I'm getting off topic. Keep me on pace here, Chris. You dropped one. That's 7 applications that got issued for the month. That's $4,900 in commissions for the month. Okay. I'm not taking out the advance, guys. I'm talking about this for a year. You can do the math. Okay. Matter of fact, guys, you remember I showed you not long ago, I showed you this tracker that does it for you. Okay. I'll be honest with you. I love you guys. I only had like 2 people ask for it. Maybe you're doing your own thing. That's okay. But track your numbers. No, this is a business. You got to know your numbers. Okay. You got to know where you're at. You got to know your income. $4,900 for the month times 12 is $58,800. Okay. On a part-time basis. Now, everything we just talked about here is output. What's the input? You need to write this down. I don't put this on this sheet because that can change too much. It shouldn't, but it can. It will. Minimum $150 a week in leads. $150 per week. Not $150 every other week. Not $150 a month. A week. Minimum. And a minimum of 150 dials. Minimum. Be honest with you, it's probably going to take more than that in the beginning. But that's why I said minimum. If you get to 150, you do not have 8 appointments, you need to do one of 2 things, and probably both. You need to buy some more leads, you need to make more dials. Okay? But if you do it enough, it's going to average out. Okay? That's the minimum expectations for you to get this. Guys, you should be averaging 25 to 30 dials an hour as long as you're intentional and not procrastinating, not pushing paper around, not jumping up and going to the bathroom every 2 minutes, not, doing stuff that's not productive. I love Stella. Stella's been here a while. Stella's a top producer. Stella's kicking it. She turns her damn phone off and she ain't looking at Crew. She's not looking at Twitter. She's not looking at YouTube. She's not looking at nothing but the dang lead sheet or how the dialer or whatever she's using. That's what you got to do. You got to be intentional. So, and with the dialer, you can get 50, 80 dials an hour if people ain't picking up. Okay. So that's like 5 hours minimum a week on the phone. I really would tell you need to do 8, if we're being honest, but I'm talking about minimum expectations here if you do this. Okay. All right. I hope everybody's got that. That's part-time. I don't know who's drawing on the screen. If you'll please quit doing that. All right. Game plan for making $85,000 a year. This is kind of in between a part-time and a go get it full-time. Okay. Or maybe you just, maybe this is all you want, because look, everybody wants things different, and that's okay. All we want is to get you what you want. Okay. Look, guys, the only thing that's changed here is how many appointments you need, how much activity, how much leads. Okay. To get 85 grand a year, minimum 10 appointments, not 9, not 7, minimum 10 appointments per week. If your show rate, track your numbers, guys. We don't just track dials, we track everything. If you're seeing that your show rate is less than 50%, the best way to make sure you can still reach your income goals, set more appointments until you can get your show rate up and work with your upline to shore up that tie down. Control what you can control, guys, okay? And ladies, 10 appointments minimum. Again, 5 sell opportunities. I'm still at 50%. 3 applications written. 3 times 700 is $2,100 a week. That's 12 applications per month written. 2 of those are going to fall off at least. Control what you control. Have the expectation right. Okay. There's very few people in this organization that has 95, 100%. I don't know anybody's got 100% persistency, but I think some people got 90. You know, I guarantee they spend a lot of work on the front end, making sure they're doing what they do. 10 issue times 7 is 7,000. Times 12 is $84,000 for the year. Okay. Now, what's the input? Right here, the input is going to be a minimum, let's see where we're at, a minimum of $250 a week in leads. $250 a week minimum, not 200, not 125, not 200 every 2 weeks, right? It's $200 a week, $250 minimum. Again, you got your 250 in, you haven't got your 10 appointments, your goal is 85,000. Do we lower our goals or do we do more activity? Don't lower your goals to meet your expectations, because you know, increase your activity to meet your goal. Okay. All right, now we're jumping up into the full-time plan here. Everything's the same. This is still a new agent, but I'll be honest with you guys. I think most of you are smart enough to understand if you're up to this level by now, you're going to have a higher commission level. Okay, I'm not accounting for that. There's too many variables there. I'm trying to say, look, you're new today. You want to make 125,000 this year. Here's what you got to do. And guess what? If you do this, you're going to make more than that, because you're going to have at least 3 or 4 commission bumps by the time you get there. Okay. 16 appointments per week minimum. You want to make 125,000 this year. Okay, we can help you do that. You've got to set 16 appointments per week minimum. Okay. 16 appointments, 8 sell opportunities. We're still only talking 50% show rate, guys. Some of you are going to be able to do better than that. Okay, I'm being conservative here. 16 sit opportunities. Your close ratio is getting better because you've been doing it. You're full time. So you're now getting 5 applications written per week. Okay. 5 times 7 is 3,500. That's 20 for the month, 20 applications written. 4 of those are going to fall off. It's going to happen. If it don't happen one month, guess what? You're going to make more money. One month, it might have a little less. You might have more than that. We're talking about average here. 16 gets issued. That's 16 times 7 is 11,200 commission. Multiply that by 12, that's 134,000. So really, guys, I just gave you an extra $9,000, but I was trying to keep my math averages up here on the game plan. You know, hell, you subtract out your lead budget, you're about there. Now, how much lead you got to do? You got to be investing a minimum $400 a week. Minimum. Let me say it again. Minimum $400 a week. By this point, you should have a GMR. Work with your upline. You should be generating, 10 A leads, and have about 15, 20 bonus leads a week to get you to that level there, right? Your dials may be starting to decrease because you're getting, you don't have to spend as much time on the phone. But look, you shouldn't ever expect to get, you should be putting in, $300 minimum. Okay. Guess what? If you get to 150 dials, you've got your 16 appointments. Well, do you want to stop there, or do you want to go for 22 appointments and go ahead and have a record week, get on the company's leaderboard for the week? It's up to you, but the minimum expectation is going to be $400 a week here at 16 appointments set. set appointments, okay? Some of you guys want to make more than that, so we're going to give you one more. We're going to give you one more. You want to make 225. Some of you guys have came from, I know there's been people come making 200 plus. Okay, you can do that here, still on a sales basis. Still now from the comfort of your home or your office, wherever, hell, the beach, no matter. Minimum appointments set per week is 25, minimum. Stella, you want to get 40 grand a month? Here you go. Minimum 25 appointments set for the week. Okay. All right. We're still talking 50% show right here, guys. 13 sits. There's going to be weeks you're going to get more than that. You'll be on the top of the company leaderboards. I promise you that happen. There's going to be weeks that maybe you just have a rough week. We all do it. John Paul, hell, he's our elite producer here, and he's had blowout weeks like that. And he's also had weeks where it all just falls apart. We're dealing with people, guys. Again, control what you control. So you sit with 13 people, excuse me. You're going to write minimum of 9 applications. Okay, you should be. 9 times 7 is 6,300. That's 36 applications per month. 8 of those are going to fall off. Again, going to happen. 28 of them get issued. 28 times 7 is $19,600 in commissions. Reality, guys, that's going to be a hell of a lot more than that, because you're doing this kind of production. You're at a 80, 85, maybe 90% by this point. You know, I'm not looking at the promotion guidelines. Just understand where I'm coming from on this. Okay, I'm being conservative and I'm keeping the same 70% commission. Okay, 19.6 times 12 is $235,000 in gross commissions you earn for the year. Again, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be more than that, but we're talking about expectations. Okay. You got to be investing $700 a week in leads. Y'all heard that Patty and I'm not going to try to pronounce their last name, compadre, whatever their last name is. You heard them last week, or was this week? Okay, we're COVID, and I've got an 8-week-old child at home. I can't keep up with when's what, but I believe they're doing $1,000 a week. They're writing 40,000 a week. Most of that. How much money you want to make? More money you want to make, more you got to invest. It's a business. It takes money to make money. Okay. Minimum $700 a week in lead flow. Work with your upline. You're going to need a pretty big GMR for that. But hell, these days there should be no reason why you can't fulfill that easily. You can put your whole state, if you only have one license, as all. You can tell Symmetry, hey, you need to have about 20 leads in this minimum. I want the whole state of Alabama on here. They're going to be able to fulfill that. And then if you're not, then go out, spend $100, go get you a non-resident license. There's plenty of states out there. We see the list every week that have extremely excess leads every week. Okay, Michigan, Kentucky. I'm trying to find somebody in Kentucky. Tennessee's starting to see excess. Pennsylvania has excess all the way. There's all kinds of states out there that has excess leads that could be coming to you. Okay. All right. Last but not least, a lot of you guys want to build a team, want to build a business. So we're going to talk about that. Not all this income right here, guys, every bit of this was assuming you don't got nobody on your team. You can still make $235,000 plus by yourself if you want to. Okay. Lee Jedlicka, $600,000 last year on his own pen. He made 450 probably, 500 in commissions on his own pen. He's a freaking maniac. Guy's done $10,000 a week for 100+ weeks in a row. In a row. Go tell him it can't be done. He's not special. He just outworks us all. You know? He can barely speak English. I mean, he's a great guy. He met his wife. I've met him. So John Paul says it all the time. Don't tell me it can't be done while I'm doing it. Right? And it's all with symmetry. Guys, the number one new rider this week, $10,000 plus, all on 50-cent leads. You know, I put that out there on the post. You know, if he had to make $1,000, he made $150 an hour doing this. Would you rather go be a lawyer, deal with all that mess, or would you rather just stay on the telephone? Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. No, I don't care. No. All right, next one. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That's all it is. Sounds easier than it is done, guys. I get it. I get anxiety sometimes to get on the phone. Guess what? I get on the phone, I start, momentum starts. It's like, why not? It's just work. It works if you work it. All right, how to build a business. In this example, you're now at a 90% contract. Okay, that's basically the new key leader. It used to be 80. Okay, you're still riding. You should still be riding, guys. Stay in the field. Stay on the computer. I mean, keep riding. Keep building your business. Keep paying your bills on your own pen. Okay. Let your business build your business. Okay. You're writing 12 a month. 12 apps getting issued. You know, that's not a lot. You know, that's basically a full-time, a little less. You're making practically $10,000 a month on your own pen. You've got 3 agents writing. We've got Chris. He's just getting started. We got John Paul. And of course, we got the captain here, Stella. Chris is at a 70% contract. He's writing 5 a month. He's on a part-time basis. He's receiving $3,500 a month in income. Your override on Chris is 20%, right? The difference between your contract and his. You're earning $1,000 a month off of Chris for helping Chris, okay? John Paul's, he's done, you know, got his first promotion. He's writing 10 apps a month. He's making $7,500 a month on his own pen. You've got a 15% override on John Paul, right? That's $1,500 a month. That's 15% off his $10,000. Okay. Stella, rocking and rolling. She's up to 80 now. You've got a 10% override on her, but guess what? She's also writing $15,000 a month. Issuing. Let me rephrase that. She's issuing. You get paid on the issue paid. You don't get paid on what you write. 10% override. You're making $1,500 off of Stella for helping Stella. So your total passive income is $4,000 a month, which is $48,000 a year off of 3 agents. You ain't got to have 100 people. You just got to have 3 of the right ones, okay? Or more, obviously. More the merrier. More you get, more you got, more you get. This ain't rocket science. So you're making $120,000 a year off your own pen. You're making $50,000 a year off your agency. That's $170,000. And guess what? I'll go ahead and tell you, Stella, John Paul, they're both going to find out and do the math of what you're making off them, and they're probably going to decide that they want to do the same thing. So then this little pyramid, this little triangle, it keeps growing. So now John Paul's got 3 people. Now Stella's got 3 people. Now their babies have babies. Now their babies have, you know, Marshall Whalen, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, was he got 5 direct 110s? That's a he had a couple puppies, and they just went to town. They had a lot of fun. Now the guy makes 7 figures a month sitting on his boat, being an incredible leader while he's sitting on his boat. You can have that if you want it. Equal opportunity. It's just not an equal guarantee. Okay? What time is it? All right, good. So let me stop my screen share. Let me open up for lines. If anybody missed something, we got a couple minutes. I can do that. But let me stop here so I can see what's happening. I've got some chats here. Stella, thank you. Thank you. GMR. That's called geographic mailing request. I was probably here a year and a half before I figured out what the hell that was. It's basically a standing lead order. But in technical terms, it's geographic mailing request. That's when Symmetry is generating leads for you. They're sending out more mailings in your geographic area so that they can get more leads back in. Chris already answered. I could have stopped there. I didn't even see that. Okay. I'll open it up for any questions, any comments, anything that you guys may need me to clarify or cover or go over or anything like that. We need more people asking questions. Don't be afraid. That's all right. Raised hand, Stephanie. Can you let's see. There you go. What's up, girl?
Yes. What's the tracker you were referring to earlier?
So this is a Google sheet that I created. I went over this a couple weeks ago. Basically, it's just a Google sheet to track your business, and I've got the formulas in there to be able to do the calculations for me on the commissions. Just a Google sheet.
Can you send that to me, please?
Yeah, I'll have to figure out. Diane Newman, I don't know if she's on here. I got to figure out, make sure I did it right, because I can see her tracker in my Google Drive. I don't know if we'll get a copy out. I'll make sure to get that out to Lori, and she can just blast it out to the new agents. Feel free to use it. You may have to just do a little, Excel, just changing the formulas to match up, with you, but we'll try to get that out.
Okay, thanks.
I realize now I was just looking at it without y'all seeing it, but anything else? All right. Chris, you got any comments, any questions, anything?
I think it's great to run through these numbers, and I appreciate you breaking it down. And just to reiterate, you brought this up, but just for somebody's brand spanking new, all those numbers that you went through are any way you slice it, are on the conservative side. Meaning, I was looking at, if you look at 84,000 and up, the 3 scenarios you ran, if you're doing that level of business, you will by default be moving up the commission structure. So that means all those numbers on the income side are going to be higher. I mean, they have to be, because if you're doing that level of activity, you will be qualifying for promotion. And again, there's a lot of those numbers in there that you can have a lot of control over. A lot of it takes personal development and growth and learning the system. That being show rate, your set rate, your issue paid rate. That's a huge one. That's one we all need to work on, make sure that we're writing good, clean business, and we're following it through the process and making sure that business is sticky. It's sticking there. If you have trouble with that, there's some specific techniques that we can put in place either in the appointment process or in the follow-up process. Get with your upline and we'll help you nail that down. But the main thing is I wanted to highlight, and I love going through these numbers, especially with the new percentages. That's exciting. I hadn't actually sat down and plugged it in like you just did there, Jeremiah, so I'm glad you did that. But and that's why I started out the call basically saying what Symmetry has been rolling out over the last 2 months does increase our earnings on the exact same level of activity that we were doing before. And the proof is in the numbers. The exciting thing about this is if you don't like where you're at financially in your personal life, you know, and you have bigger aspirations and bigger goals. You just, the roadmap was just delivered to you right here. So now it's back on you. Ball's in your court. We can help you. You know, if you feel like you're spinning your wheels, you feel like you're not hitting those numbers specifically on the dials, the appointments, show rate. Again, all that stuff can be controlled through training and coaching. But you have to initiate that conversation. You know, we're not. You know, you have to be sharing those numbers with your trainer, your coach, your upline, so they can see what's happening and start to recognize those patterns. You know, too many times we'll get somebody that calls and says, "Well, I'm struggling. I'm having a difficult time," and we look at their. Well, number one, we say, "Well, I haven't got any numbers from you. What's your activity been?" And then we look at the activity, and they made 50 dials, and they're not sure. You know, they're understanding why they haven't written 5,000 for the week. Well, it's a business, you know. If think of it, a brick and mortar store. If I open my door for 2 hours in the morning and then close for the day, and I'm going to complain because I didn't have enough customers come in, that's not how it works. You got to be full time all the time. So, no, I just wanted to chime in on that. That's awesome to go through those numbers this morning. I appreciate you taking the time, Jeremiah, to break that down for everybody.
Yeah, guys, I brought this up because you was talking about numbers and all of that. There's a report out on the SFG Live website. Okay, it's the activity report. You track your dials, you track your contacts, you track your appointments. A lot of people know to do that. What happens? You don't track everything else. You need to be writing your appointments down. Did you sit with them? Did they no-show you? Did they reschedule on you? Did you write applications and how many? How much was your premium? What are the notes? There should never be a time that you're asking your upline for help and you don't know your numbers. We can't help you. We cannot help you if you don't know your numbers. And it's very easy, very simple to do. Okay, you ain't got to use this report. Symmetry made it. It's easy. I put out a different dial tracker not long ago. I like some of the difference, but you still got to make sure you're tracking your appointments. Know your numbers, because if you're Jeremiah, 20 appointments and you're only meeting with 3 people, we need to know that. That tells us exactly where we need to help you. Right?
Yeah. Here, Jeremiah, can I add something to that as well? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm mobile, so I had the camera and the mic off most of the call. But so yeah, I mean, these other tools you rolled out, I mean, to your point, it's extremely important that folks understand that this is a business and you have to understand all the moving parts of your business, right? And these are all great tools and resources, you know, so if you need some assistance in understanding how to leverage this better in your day-to-day functions, get with your mentor or your AO in that regard. And to your point, I have other spreadsheets and things that I track, but the one you just showed right there, which was the tracking log, what I've used personally that works extremely well, I can quick glance and I have it on my desk all the time, is I use that tracking log to track all my business and sales. And I have a pack of different color highlighters and I color code those things because I track my pending business as well. So when things are approved or issue paid, or if it's, you know, withdrawn or declined, the whole point is I'm tracking that on there and I'm able to color code that with highlighters, just old school, you know, so I can see it real quick and easy. So I make sure I'm top of my business, and on my calendar, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the morning, I have it actually on my calendar to check pending business. And I just check and see what applications are still in the wind, what's needed on them and stuff. So to your point, appointments and sales and all those things are very important, but making sure you're tracking your pending business is ultimately, you know, what we get paid on. Right. So I just want to add that to it. So thanks for sharing that information. And if you're not doing something like that for your business, then you should, because you got to know what's going on. You have to be able to inspect what you expect, even if it's of yourself. So thanks, Jeremiah.
Yeah, man. You know, look, guys, one of the things I can tell you and give you some advice on as far as pending business. This is my opinion. Work with your upline. We love all carriers. But let me say what I do. I put my business with the carriers that makes it the easiest to do business with. I don't want to spend a lot of my time having to follow up with underwriters, email underwriters, doing all that. I want quick, I want fast, I want to move on to the next, okay? I love Foresters for their strong foundation. I don't know much about their whole life yet. I need to get better at that. But you know what? I write Foresters unless I can't. Because you know what? I get them issued sometimes, a lot of times, almost instantly. Other times it's 2 to 3 business days, and then it's done. I can look at my pending business, and it's all saying active. Okay. I write Dignity Solutions for AMAM for my whole life right now. You know why? Because for the most part, it's going to be an instant approval. It's done. There's not any follow-up. There's not any of that. The client's approved. You get paid. So just put your business, the number one rule of business is stay in business. Okay? Unless you want to go hire an admin administrative assistant to do all that, I need to be focusing my time on income producing activities, which is putting more business in the pipe, getting more recruits in the pipe, helping recruits get their business in the pipe and keep it going. Less time on the back end. It's frustrating to have to chase down underwriters. I've done it. So there's certain carriers are going to be better than others for that. I'm not telling you what carrier to like or don't like. Everybody's got a little difference of opinion on that. But I love Forrester's strong foundation. Again, when I'm using Virtual Mentor, if I use it, because I know what I'm doing now for the most part, I'm trying to eliminate. Tell me that I can't get Forrester's strong foundation, then I'll figure out where else I got to go. Okay. Tell me I can't have Dignity Solutions, immediate coverage, and I'll figure out where else I got to go. Keep it simple, guys. Focus on that. You know, we're a broker. We got 40 carriers. The best thing you can do as a new agent, have 1, maybe 2 carriers. Therefore, 1, maybe 2 products, 4 products. I guess technically, if you got a whole life, you got a critical period. Don't be out here trying to be shopping and finding the best possible $3 rate, you know, because you can try to get them a couple dollars cheaper, and then you're going to spend about a month trying to follow up with it and hopefully get it approved, and then, you know, and then they mail you the dang policy in the mail, and then you got to figure out how to get it to them. I mean, it's just there's some things you can learn to make this thing smooth, a lot more smoother, right? So you can focus on just, you know, continue to produce. So love you
Jeremiah,
guys. Yeah, man.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I wanted to add one thing because that's a great point, right? As far as consolidating the carriers, and this is important for the new folks, is if you're able to write most of your business with a specific carrier, it allows you to become a subject matter expert on those particular types of policies more readily because you're consistent in the specifics, the underwriting criteria, all those other things with that particular carrier. But the flip side of that is you're racking up all that accumulated net placed at that carrier. We all know that these carriers all have trips for all of us and stuff. So I would, rather place the majority of my business with 1 or 2 carriers and be able to get 1 or 2 trips rather than spreading it around to different companies. And you still made the same amount of money with maybe some potential challenges or complications overall. But since you spread it out to different companies, you might have missed that trip to wherever by the carrier. And so, find a company that you're comfortable with that works for the majority of your clients. Obviously, a lot of them are very close and similar into that, but get to know one and master that. And then, add in other, arrows to your quiver as necessary, but try to consolidate the majority of your business, with 1 or 2 carriers so you can qualify for some of these trips and such like that. So just want to add that to that as well. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Yeah, my first year, we didn't have Virtual Mentor, guys. We had our upline. Chris said, here's American Amicable, here's UHL. Do American Amicable mostly for your term, UHL for your whole life, a critical period, and that's what I did. And I won a trip to American Amicable. I become an expert. I can tell you that agent guide inside and out. You know, for the most part, I knew the meds. I had the agent guide downloaded on my, printed out at that point, then downloaded, and I've become an expert, right? The biggest thing is just become an expert. You don't need all of those carriers right now. You know, you just need to focus on the process. This is not a product business. This is a process business, okay? All right, love you guys, 10:57. I got an appointment in 3 minutes. Y'all have a great day. I hope you added some value to you. Hope you took these numbers and apply them starting today if you haven't been applying them, okay? Guess what? Opt don't close. You can get on right now and put some instant purchasing to get you some more leads, get your activity up, all right? Get the numbers met, right? You're in control. You're in control. Love you guys. Have a great week. Do a good weekend.